Did you know it was a penalty shot? I knew you weren't supposed to do it. Hi, kids. Victorious puppies. This team is ruining my life. Why do I watch hockey? Stress relief, folks. We can, and we will. Pity point puppies? I don't even know. It's not your fault that they duffed it. Listen, if I don't give you a treat every time they give up a 4-1 lead, you're gonna be pretty skinny. Iggy, did you know it was a penalty shot? You're the only one. First loss of the season made it a good one. Oh, usually just despite the shootout because I hate it because it's not hockey, I do Leafs half win. No. They lost. That was terrible. Can you give back a point? Well, they did. Can you give back the other point? You should be able to. They don't deserve it. What the hell? It was 4-1. Leafs lose 6-5 in the crapshoot to the Montreal Canadiens. And let me tell you, folks, I watch the highlights every time. It just makes making these videos easier. I don't have the strength. Do not have the physical strength in me to watch the highlights to relive that game. And you know what? I don't have to because it's burned in here forever. All kinds of scarring. I remember I was hanging out with friends, having a good time with friends, and William Nylander scored to make it 4-1. And I remember turning to one of my friends and going, gosh, they're so good. That's burned in. I remember the 4-2 goal and going, 4-3, But it's okay because this penalty kill is going really well. Cappy. And Max Domi leaning over the boards and chirping and capping with his big Snapchat filter mouth. Seriously, doesn't it look like his mouth is too big for his head? The better to chirp you with, my dear. And Max Domi and all his Montreal Canadiens teammates and the entire Montreal Canadiens fan base earned it. You get it? This is your day because wow! And yeah, Matthews tied it. Hooray! Makes me think whatever the hell they would do without him. Overtime was fun. It only lasts for 5 minutes. And the shootout was sad because people were tweeting me like, oh man, you see how expensive the Leaf shooters were? The goalie's expensive too. But let's not pretend like the shootout is representative of actual hockey, and let's not pretend you looked at Carey Price versus Michael Hutchinson in the shootout and thought you had a shot. Well, actually I did. When they were up 4-1, I thought they had a shot of not having to go that far. What a waste of a good game. Other than the start. Start was garbage again. Max Domi showing off to the fans. And then Matthews scoring a goal and bumping up against the Montreal Canadiens fans in the front row. Iconic. Hilarious. Little request from me, and this is going to show you that I don't forget a damn thing when it comes to the Leafs unless it's Nick Robertson's position. Why is it that the Toronto Maple Leafs ruin all the most givable moments of Austin Matthews' career? Why? That goal where he goes like this, where he points at the net, they lost. Matthews looking at the back of Scott Sabourin's jersey. You let that guy score you? He had 4 goals in the American League last year. Matthews gets what should be the game-winning goal against the Blackhawks. He gives him a little bit of this. Garrett Sparks gives up the game-tying goal -4 seconds later. Matthews scored 4 goals in his first game and you lost! And in a game where the Leafs had a 3-goal lead, they were up 4-1. Matthews somehow managed to tie the game twice and you blew it? Do you understand? Do you want a wait? Kerfoot with the goal. Trevor Moore looks fantastic. William Nylander scored. You would have begged for that last year. Michael Hutchinson was stopping hockey pucks. That was nice. The defense held the Habs to no shots for like 10 minutes for a while. And again, I've said this how many times? The Leafs with the early season traumatic defensive performance. 2016, Matthews, Marner, they're all rookies. It's a lot of fun. And the Leafs are up 4-0 on the Winnipeg Jets. Leafs choke, lose that game 5-4. That's why when I saw what the Devils did the other day, I'm like, I know that feel, dog. Except in the height of the Matthews versus Laine euphoria, Laine gets a hat trick in the overtime winner. It couldn't be worse. 2017, Leafs, home opener, game 2 of the season against the New York Rangers, torching them. It's 5-1. Rangers tie it 5-5. Leafs win it 8-5. But again, it's like, can we give the points back? Game 3, 2018, just last year, that ridiculous game against Chicago. I still need therapy for that, as well as the 7-6 game against Philadelphia, where James Van Riemsdyk got a hat trick. And now this. The Leafs up 4-1, and a lot of people are tweeting me like Game 7, and I'm like, no, that's a different category of trauma. 4-1, Game 3 of the season, Max Domi's face, capping in with whatever the hell that was. one of these days, my therapist is going to buy the Oshawa Generals. That's how Michael Hutchison was not good enough. I'm not going to harp on that too much. He actually had a pretty decent preseason, and if you look around the league, there's at least a couple teams where I think Hutchison might just be the starter. Riley Ceci, after what I thought was a great performance against the Columbus Blue Jackets, wow! Wow in this one. But it all comes down to one moment. Kasperi Kapanen doing a great thing. He was having such a good penalty kill. This guy's a wicked penalty killer. I love Kasperi Kapanen. You don't understand. Like, the Leafs will dump it. They'll ice it on purpose because they have this cheat code he beats out icings. He gets, like, 1 breakaway per penalty kill. Even though he has his limits, he's the Flash. He is a ridiculous cheat code out there. He has the fastest feet in the league. He's got to be top 5. Seriously, he's unbelievable. He doesn't quite have the hands to keep up to those feet like Connor McDavid, but they're useful nonetheless. And he's willing to muck it up. He's getting in the corners a little bit. He's really getting in players' kitchens. Domi hates him, and and he's willing to get down and block his shot. Problem, bit of a hot head. Petrie takes a shot. It breaks Kapanen's stick. Oh well, there's 11 seconds left in the penalty. Roger Clemens, he threw the stick at Petrie, which I'm like, oh no, now the penalty extends. You wish! You'll have to forgive me, and you'll have to forgive most hockey fans, I think, for forgetting that is a penalty shot, because when was the last time you ever saw a player do that? Now, if I remember correctly from my Dang It series on the Sportsnet YouTube channel, which starts up again soon, I think someone on, I want to say Vancouver, did that to the Ducks, and it led to Sam Steele having a penalty shot for his first career NHL hat trick. It happened once last year that I can even think of. And if you're asking me to remember an incident before that, nothing in my entire life watching hockey. You could have thrown the stick anywhere. You could have thrown it down the ice, and it would have been better. I've seen people tweeting me about it's a time to trade Kasperi Kapanen, or maybe when Zach Hyman gets back. Hey, should Trevor Moore or Ilya Mikheyev take Kapanen's spot there on the Tavares and Marner line? Dude, 3 games in 4 nights, 3rd game of the season, and an unprecedented brain fart. I think that's all it was a lactose intolerance times Brussels sprouts times spicy food times whatever, a brain fart. I don't think there's anything that Leafs fans or Habs fans or even Max Domi himself could yell at Kasperi Kapanen that he hasn't already yelled at himself by now. He's got to feel sick. Ain't too much time to feel sorry for yourself. Your next game on Monday, you're hosting the Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues. The next game after that, on Thursday, the President's Trophy winning Tampa Bay Lightning. You can take solace out of the fact that the Leafs got 5 out of 6 points in their first 3 games, 3 games in 4 nights. Granted, 3 not so strong opponents. The Sens are the Sens. They always play the Leafs hard, but they're the Sens. The Blue Jackets made the playoffs last year, and they're feisty, but they're not the same team that they were last year. And the Montreal Canadiens, also feisty, also give the Leafs a tough time. Didn't make the playoffs last year. They got 5 of 6. They should have got 6 of 6, but they got 5 of 6. Now, you get back-to-back bonkers challenges. This is your time, right? That's the whole thing about this season, right? Prove it. Oh, it's early in the season. Yeah, that's fair, but soon it's early in the playoffs, and soon it's only a par 5. A little question from me. Now, I asked this question, and it's a little unfair because we have hindsight now. I was talking about, I wish Babcock would be open to playing Hutchison, or whoever the backup happens to be, on the first half of a back-to-back. Sometime. Now, Travis Yost tweeted me, and a bunch of people tweeted me about, like, well, you know, you have a shot at 4 points. You want to guarantee 2, and if you get the second 2, that's nice. Well, the Leafs got 3 out of 4, so that's nice. But I was thinking in terms of, I expected the Montreal Canadiens to give the Leafs more trouble, especially on the second half of a back-to-back, than the Columbus Blue Jackets on the front half. I don't think the Blue Jackets are as good as they were last year, and I think Montreal's pretty good, and they'll be on the second half of a back-to-back, and they'll have Carey Price in, and it's Saturday night. It does. It means something else. I'm sorry. But I don't want to watch the backup goaltender on Hockey Night in Canada. I don't. That shouldn't factor into your strategy. I just kind of wish it did. Now, is the difference in quality of team between the Blue Jackets and Montreal Canadiens that high? I don't really think it is. I mean, Korpisalo and Price, that's a huge difference, but in terms of the roster makeup, not huge. The Leafs' next back-to-back, October 15th and 16th. October 15th is at home against the Minnesota Wild. October 16th is on the road against the Washington Capitals. Which game are you a little bit more worried about? I think it's perfectly fair to say play your starting goalie on the front half of most back-to-backs. That's one where maybe consider playing Freddie on the road. The next back-to-back after that is a week later because the Leafs on Monday, October 21st are playing the Blue Jackets at home. After that, on Tuesday, October 22nd, they're playing the Boston Bruins on the road at TD Garden. So there's another one. Freddie Anderson at home, front half of a back-to-back against the Blue Jackets. Yeah, I think he wins. I mean, I just saw it. And then after that, it's like, good luck, Mike. Well, Curtis McElhinney had a .935 as a backup once, okay? If you want your backup to do that year in, year out, you're about to have a bad time. If you want your starter to do that, if you want the Vezina Trophy winner, what McElhinney did once was wild. Questions. This loss reminds me of being stung by a bee as a kid, and as an adult, it still effing hurts. That's not a question, but it is some truth. The kids have an advantage, okay? They can just cry in public, whereas as an adult, we feel the need to go home first. The Caps just got a puppy. He's cute. The Leafs should get one too. I know just who can play fetch with him. Do any of you know what questions are? There's a question. That was the first one. What if the Leafs' backup goaltender position is like the Defense Against the Dark Arts professor position? What if it's just a revolving door every year, forever not finding anyone we trust to play more than back-to-back? Wouldn't that make Anderson the Defense Against the Dark Arts professor because he disappears once a month? That's Cappy, isn't it? I'm positive you missed a letter. Why did it have to be 4-1? Because we're infinitesimal specks on a rock covered in water flying through the galaxy. Space doesn't care about your feelings. Yeah, no, I thought that was a pretty good sign I should stop too. Alright, so that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Ooh. Couple things to show you. My book! Have I mentioned I made a book? The audiobook is available on Kobo, one day only, so if you're watching it the day I uploaded this video, it's that day, one day only. The book is $5, that's it. The ebook, cheap as dirt. Get it! And here, do you want to see someone who also would have thrown their stick because they didn't know what to do? Here's me on the ice with Ken Reed from Sportsnet. Ken's actually pretty good, and he's definitely got style. I was at the Captain's Clinic for the Eric Lindros Celebrity Hockey Classic. We were discussing ways to raise money, and one of the ways is, I'm just going to ask you again. I'm trying to raise money for Easter Seals Ontario. It is a charity that helps kids with physical disabilities, and one that helped my family personally when I was a kid. Unforgettable experiences. They were wonderful to my parents, wonderful to my sister, wonderful to me. So if you could lend them a few dollars, there's a link down in the description. I would be very grateful, and forget me, the kids would be. So that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends not to throw the stick, man. Oh, you're still here? Oh, right. Well, I talk over the end screens now. Ooh, we're recording a podcast now. We're about to record a podcast later today. So look for that on the Steve Dangle Podcast channel, which you can click subscribe to right here. It's us wrestling. It's cute.